From my book, Academic Pursuits, come the following Merge-Matics. I will quote directly from the book. If you're so inclined, you can find and order this book and my others by going to GuyMcPherson.com, clicking the Media tab, and then clicking the Written Works tab. In this novel, I used Merge-Matics as comic relief and also to reflect the current mood of the book's protagonist. I begin with a description of Merge-Matics as follows. Quote, according to my source of email humor, the Washington Post Invitational Contest consists of Merge-Matic books in which readers are asked to combine the works of two authors and supply a simple plot. I spent several hours unsuccessfully trying to confirm the existence of this contest, which allegedly was won by Mike Long of Burke, Virginia, a suburb of Washington, D.C., for submitting Fahrenheit 451 of the Vanities, in which an 80s yuppie is denied books. He does not object or even notice. Since reading about this contest, I have spent considerable time formulating additional entries and have expanded the format to include movies. I attribute this obsession to my previous experience writing headlines. Diane blames dementia, end quote. Diane is the partner of the book's protagonist. The following Merge-Matics are directly quoted from the book, Academic Pursuits. Night of the Living Dead Poets Society. A mid-career professor in the humanities continually relives the same poor performance in the classroom, as much to his chagrin as that of his students. Phantom of the Opera. Evil spirit sneaks into the body of a popular talk show host, making her appear to gain 30 pounds overnight. American Beauty and the Beast. At the height of the Cold War, a bored and unappreciated government official considers an affair with an extremely homely teenaged communist. Singing in the Rain Man. Gene Kelly dances across the country with his autistic brother. The Little Prince of Tides. A diminutive prince travels the universe in search of answers to life's great questions. Along the way, he falls in love with his therapist and retires to live on the beach. Coming Home Alone. A combat veteran barely survives Vietnam and comes home unannounced, where he is promptly blown out of his wheelchair by an onslaught of homemade weapons produced by his son, who fails to recognize him, remembering Dad as being more cheerful and much taller. The English Patient Who Went Up a Hill and Came Down a Mountain. An amnesiac patient falls in love with the small Welsh town that nurses him back to health by encouraging him to haul mud up a hill. Cheaper by the dirty dozen. A beleaguered sergeant tries to keep his misfits supplied with combat necessities. Wild, Wild West Side Story. Jim West outdances members of a New York street gang. Taxi Driving Miss Daisy. A racist old woman decides to kill a black political candidate. Her plot is foiled when her immigrant cab driver misunderstands her thick southern accent and takes her to the wrong address, so she blows him away instead. Barefoot in the Gorky Park. Russian serial killer stalks young lovers. The Killing Field of Dreams. A baseball lover carves a diamond out of war-torn Cambodia, only to have it haunted by the ghosts of people slaughtered by the Khmer Rouge. The Princess Bride of Frankenstein. This twist on the classic love story involves sorcery, swordplay, spare body parts, and rodents of unusual size. First Night of the Living Dead. More swordplay, this time with ghouls. The House of Soylent Green Gables, a futuristic thriller in which the hero discovers that a contractor has used relatives, literally, to build his house. To Kill a Mockingbird Man of Alcatraz. Prisoners, tired of being ridiculed, throw their tormentor from the top of the prison. He soars free for nearly 5 seconds before splattering onto the rocks below. Silence of the Lambada. Psychotic killer with a penchant for human flesh stalks bad dancers. The Man in the Iron John. Would-be ruler is locked in an escape-proof outhouse by his evil twin, who is trying to prove he is the manlier of the two. Moby Dick Tracy. Twisted and crippled villain seeks vengeance against a giant albino detective. Uncle Tom Sawyer. Slave attempts to escape via the underground river raft. Toy Love Story. Animated tale of jealousy between an astronaut and a cowboy vying for the affection of a girl with a large nose. Unbearable lightness of being John Malkovich. In the midst of the Soviet invasion, Czech doctor with an active sex life discovers he can use John Malkovich's body to have sex with a woman who is otherwise unwilling. Unfortunately, every episode is only 15 minutes long and terminates with his expulsion onto the New Jersey Turnpike. Little Men Are From Mars, Little Women Are From Venus. Timeless classic illustrates differences between genders by exploring sibling relationships within two families. What Dreams May Come Home. Lassie is troubled by bizarre dreams in which she seems to be trapped in a child's finger painting while seeking to rescue the eternally inept Timmy, who has accidentally fallen into hell. As a dog, most troubling is the fact that she now finds herself dreaming in vivid color. Saturday Night Fever of the Living Dead. After Jerry Garcia's death, the surviving band members get the 24-hour flu on the same weekend. Blue Highway to Heaven. A cross-country trip leads a Native American to conclude that the Calvinists who killed his ancestors were right in their belief that a person can't be happy in this life and hope to see God in the next. The Lone Ranger and Tonto fistfight in Heaven's Gate. A fortuitous race-based rumble breaks out in a theater entryway, saving would-be patrons from seeing a really bad movie. Raging Bull Durham. Psychotic boxer hits journalism professor in the groin with a baseball bat. Butch Cassidy and the Karate Kid. Fearless duo take turns kicking a journalism professor in the groin. Nuts. Barbra Streisand plays a disturbed rich woman who is institutionalized for kicking a journalism professor in the groin. Oh, this one fails because it's stupid and it doesn't merge two titles. Sixth Scent of a Woman. Man has the good fortune to catch overtime of the big game on a TV at Sears because his girlfriend is befuddled as she tries to decide which fragrance to buy at the perfume counter. Lord of the Flying Dutchman. A shipwrecked band of Dutch boys regresses to their base emotions in this incomprehensible opera. Endless Summer of 42. A man loses track of his birth date, so ends up going through his midlife crisis 2 years late. Brave New World Encyclopedia. A daring publisher risks everything on a new holographic encyclopedia. Canterbury Tales of Two Cities. Young traveler describes the nefarious characters he meets between London and Paris. All Creatures Great and Gadsby. Carefree adventurer is transformed into a gentle homebody by the gentle animals who adopt him. The Fish That Saved Private Ryan. An all-Pisces squadron takes on a suicide mission to save a lone private during World War II, but they leave him behind upon discovering that Ryan is a Sagittarius. The Perfect Storm Within. Complex and claustrophobic tale of sexuality, parental rivalry, and jealousy becomes even more murky after the roof blows off during a horrific rainstorm. The Adventures of Rocky VII and Bullwinkle. Between cries of, "Yo, Adrian," perennial underdog Rocky Balboa overcomes long odds to defeat a moose in the boxing ring. For wedding singers and a funeral, Barbershop Quartet alleviates suffering at memorial services. How the Grinch Stole a Christmas Carol. Miserly Scrooge's attempt to ruin Christmas is thwarted because he can't stop laughing at the antics of his hired gun's accomplice, Max. The Falcon and Frosty the Snowman. Youths accidentally sell American intelligence secrets to the KGB via a fat white guy who dodges traffic cops and mysteriously disappears during a heat wave. The Big Easy Rider. Two young motorcyclists encounter hippies, psychedelic substances, and corruption on the police force in New Orleans. The Color of Money Pit. Billiards hustler spends his considerable earnings on a disintegrating house. The Adventures of Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. The sudden death of her husband sends Alice on the road in search of the Promised Land, but she finds the Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter, and Chris Christopherson instead. That's it. Remember, these were written some 20 years ago, so if they seem untimely, it's because, they're untimely. That's it. Thanks for indulging my sense of humor. In fact, thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing to this channel. Feel free to share this video. If you subscribe, be sure to click the bell so you will be notified about future videos. Become a member of this channel for additional perks at as little as 99 cents per month. Mostly though, thanks for watching.